Hello, I'm Mike Tanaro, and I'm the minister of the Young at Hearts at the Greenwood Park Church of Christ. I want to share a few things with you this evening. It's some things I actually sent out to a few people as an encouragement thing, and I thought maybe I would share it with you all too. You don't have to have a Bible, but if you have one handy, look at Hebrews chapter 13. Hebrews chapter 13. And the point I'm wanting to make has to do with some contentment and some encouragement along those lines. If you're like me, it's hard to be a little bit content, or more content than I normally am. I want to get out and do some things, and I'm not being able to do that. Anyhow, in Hebrews chapter 13, if you will, down here in verse 6, the writer says, keep your lives free from the love of money. Now, that's not what I'm thinking about, but read on with me. And be content with what you have, because God has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. It's almost like God saying, be content because you've got me. You've got me. When I was a little kid, I was sitting on my grandmother's lap while her mother was passing away. And I was very young, maybe like 4 years old or whatever. And my grandma was crying, and all the siblings were. And and I kept looking up at her, and I was like, Grandma, hi. In other words, I was saying, you got me, what more do you want? And just being a kid, I didn't understand. But actually, this is a real powerful thought, because happiness is not having what you want, but it's more of wanting what you have. Not having what you want, but wanting what you have. And that's why this text is so important. He says here, because I will never leave you nor forsake you. And the quote here, and that quote that I just gave you is actually from Deuteronomy 31 and verse 6. I will never leave you nor forsake you. And then he gives the conclusion of that sort of in the next verse, in verse 6, and says, so we can say with confidence. In other words, we can say, or we can believe with confidence. And then that's a quotation from Psalm 118, and it says, the Lord is my helper. I will not be afraid of what man can do to me. Meaning, I will not be afraid of what can happen to me. And we know that's easier said than done. But I really rest in these verses a lot, because we contentment comes from God, but when He talks to us, through His Word, He says things like this, and it really, really comes together. I said a moment ago that happiness is not having what you want, but it's wanting what you already have. And there may be some exceptions to the rule, but that pretty well plays out. And so here, this is where in the Deuteronomy passage, Moses is talking to Joshua. Moses is getting ready to leave, and he's going to leave the whole thing with Joshua. And that's where he says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. The Lord said that. And then, the Lord is my helper. I will not be afraid, of course, from the Psalms. And that brings about a contentment that can't come from anywhere else. I will not fear what man can do to me. Meaning, I will not fear what can happen to me. And, it's easier said than done. Don't fear. The Bible's full of do not be afraid. Well, that hasn't worked on me all the time, but I'll tell you what does. It's not fear, but it's the fear of fear. In other words, we're not afraid of fear. We know that fear is not going to succeed. Yes, we're afraid. Yes, we can be afraid. But the Lord is our helper, and we will not be afraid of what can be done to us or happen to us in the big picture. Thank you.